My name is Charity Hughes, and I am here to talk to you about some recommendations that I have put together for the Starbucks Corporation. Just a quick overview of the company. The coffee industry is of over $11 million with an anticipated growth of 1.8% annually. An industry this large will obviously have a sizable impact on the communities that it resides in. Starbucks' mission is to inspire and nurture the human spirit, one person, one cup, and one neighborhood at a time. So Starbucks fits right into this corporate social responsibilities. While customers may stray occasionally from the company, they do always return. They're very loyal customer base. Starbucks has always set out to be a different kind of company, leading not only with innovation within its products, but innovation within its corporate social responsibility. Starbucks is a company that looks to balance its profitability and social conscience. As part of its mission statement, Starbucks Corporation strives to do everything through the lens of humanity. I have a quote here from former CEO Howard Schultz that ties right into this. Because not everyone can take charge of his or her destiny, those who do rise to positions of authority have a responsibility whose daily work keeps the enterprise running, not only to steer the correct course, but to make sure that no one is left behind. And I really think that this is the backbone behind Starbucks corporate social responsibility. So I wanted to talk to you today a little bit about the remarkable goals that Starbucks has set and maybe where some shortcomings are. A big one for this is Starbucks is focused very heavily on environmental, and they do have a goal to hire 25,000 military vets and military spouses by the year 2025, but this is not information that's readily available. And in fact, unemployment levels for 18 to 25-year-old veterans are generally higher than the civilian counterpart. So Starbucks has an opportunity to bridge this gap between unemployed veterans and its goal of creating opportunities and strengthening the companies that it works with worldwide. So I'd like to run through a quick SWOT analysis with you. One of the strengths of the company is that it has the ability to partner with NGOs. Being such a large corporation, it's very visible, and it has the ability to partner with several different corporations. There was a survey done by the Voice of the People stating that 48 to 52% of people that respond have little to no trust in global corporations. Having these partnerships with NGOs helps to rise this trust level within the corporations. They currently partner with Points of Lights, which is the largest volunteer community organization. And not only have they partnered with NGOs, they've also created their own nonprofit organization, a 501c3 that focused initially on literary issues within the United States and Canada, but now functions worldwide. A weakness is a lack of internal focus on these partnerships. They tend to heavily focus on environmental sector, but they don't necessarily have strong partnerships with veteran and military families. To streamline this goal, it would help Starbucks reach its goal and yield substantial business-related benefits. This is not only for the bottom line of the company, but for the reputation and the growth. Another one of these weaknesses is lack of proactivity in partnering. Many times, large corporations such as Starbucks wait to be reactive in social issues rather than proactive. Doing a study group to try and find out what the issues are that plague our societies that the Starbucks corporations reside in would definitely turn this into a weakness or a strength rather than a weakness for the company, being proactive rather than reactive. Opportunities, there are many different opportunities for recognition and corporate responsibility. The highest that Starbucks has seen in the top list was number 42. This gives it the corporation the opportunity to refine its CSR policies and rise higher on this recognition list. Another one would be leveraging veterans partnered with NGOs already working for Starbucks. Many times these veterans are already part of the NGOs, so they would be able to leverage them. Currently, at the end of 2017, they were at a $15,000 goal, so they've already succeeded where they thought they would be, but utilizing these 15,000 vets and military spouses that already work for the company and have partnerships and relationships with NGOs would only drive this number higher to reach their 2025 goal. A couple threats are illegitimate NGO partnering. Many times NGOs are formed, they're not managed correctly, bad financial practices. So much of the information available on NGO and corporate partnering is based on conflict-oriented relations between the two actors, rather than, as I stated, these proactive relationships. Another threat is market competition. Dunkin' Donuts and McDonald's are very big competitors of Starbucks. Not only do they have their own robust CSR policies, but they're also targeting many of the same people that are looking for these jobs, these unemployed vets and military spouses. So they have threats not only within the market on CSR policies, but in bringing the military vets and spouses to the corporation. My recommendations are to create an NGO partnering guide. This would help the company set a precedence in the coffee and consumer industry. So a couple of guidelines that I have put together are to develop criteria for selecting projects. This will help to ensure that you select the right partner. Identify partners, and this goes back to identifying the right partner, not partnering with illegitimate NGOs. Structuring agreements. Properly structured agreements will help protect the company while maintaining partnering success for both the company and the NGO. These include goals, objectives, and a timeline. Building support at the appropriate level of management, whether this comes from the CEO or the people within the individual coffee shops. And to develop a plan, a clear project plan. This will keep goals outlined for both the NGO and Starbucks. And maintain momentum. This keeps the goals at the forefront of the company and its CSR policies to make sure that we're constantly working towards those. Another one would to be measurables. Starbucks should ask its leaders why or why not this partnership was successful, measure if they would like to continue this partnership or if they'd like to look at a different actor. And the last one would be communication. Communicate results of effective partnerships. This is a win-win for everybody involved. Letting the consumer know about these veteran and military partnerships that are available. Another recommendation would be NGO researcher ranking. Many times corporations will partner with different NGOs thinking that they're working through these issues with the right actor. Many times this ranking, they might not have chose the best one. So my recommendation would be for Starbucks to examine not only if there should be a relationship, but what kind of relationship. Researching these NGOs with a critical lens is definitely something that all companies should do. Another recommendation would be veteran community initiatives. There are over 45,000 military and veteran nonprofit organizations. So tying back into the opportunity earlier, leveraging the veterans that currently already work for the company, going to job fairs. For vets, this is something that they could go out and do to help put its CSR policies at the forefront. At the end of my presentation, I would just like to mention that ethical and moral consumerism is what drives companies to succeed in social efforts pertaining to CSR policies set by the companies. While Starbucks does have a very strong CSR policy, much of it goes unnoticed due to lack of information available to consumers. Utilizing its amazing branding efforts while partnering consciously with NGOs that support the company's goals and missions will not only help to drive the company forward in meeting the goals, it will increase the level of commitment to the CSR and the organization goals, but it will help consumers' perceptions of the organization and positive branding for the company while driving our communities to more ethical consumerism. Working with NGOs that have a track record of collaborative efforts with companies will enable Starbucks to continue working on social impacts that affect the communities in which our companies reside. So thank you for your time today, and I appreciate it.